My name is Genevieve Pinto-Zipp, and I'm a professor in the PhD in Health Sciences program here at Seton Hall University in the Department of Interprofessional Health Sciences and Health Administration. I've been here for over 2 decades, and my professional background is in physical therapy. In 1986, I completed my physical therapy bachelor's degree at University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey. And I went quickly into clinical work, working with adult and pediatric neurological patients. From there, I decided that I really needed to advance my education. And so I moved on quickly to pursuing my doctoral education part-time. And I actually pursued first my master's in arts, followed by my master's in education, and ultimately completed my EDD at Teachers College, Columbia University in the area of motor control and learning in 1996. The journey was exciting because throughout the journey, I actually worked full-time as a physical therapist and went to school part-time. That was really unique and still is unique. And when I came to Seton Hall, that was one of the things that I wanted to bring to Seton Hall, was the opportunity for individuals like myself to pursue their graduate degree part-time. And so I did that. The program is flexible, allows us to do that. And part of the uniqueness also is that our program allows you as a student to really embark on the type of research that you might be interested in. So initially coming to Seton Hall, my interest really focused on the area of motor control and learning. Primarily, I was interested in 2 areas. One is called Constraint Induced movement therapy. And that is really an approach where we're trying to look to see how constraining someone's upper extremity could ultimately allow them to do more effective motor control or enhance their motor control in the lower extremities. And I looked at that primarily with children with CP. I also began to look at what's called dual tasking. And dual tasking is just what it is, when you do more than one task at a time, and you see how the effects of 2 tasks can influence the motor output. And I looked at that both in adults and in children. And interestingly, I wanted to look at not just the similar types of tasks that are out there in the research, but I wanted to look at the common everyday task. And so my research really took me in that area of looking at everyday dual tasking. So yes, walking and playing on your phone, walking and carrying your pocketbook, walking and carrying a briefcase, and seeing how that affected your motor control, your ability to walk. As I progressed in the program working with students, I recognized that I really had a passion for what's called the scholarship of teaching and learning. And so my research took a different approach. And over the last decade, I've been really looking at scholarship of teaching and learning and research. And I've engaged my students both at the professional level and at the doctoral level to join with me in this journey. And the primary areas that I've investigated in the scholarship of teaching and learning have really focused all around developing critical thinking skills in students. And you might say, well, why develop critical thinking skills? Well, as a clinician, as a researcher, and as an academician, critical thinking skills is the most important. And so early on in my career, I began to look at a strategy called mind mapping. And ask the question, can mind mapping promote critical thinking in students? And you might say, well, what is mind mapping? Well, mind mapping is an alternate strategy to standard note-taking. And it affords the learner to think sort of out of the box when they're taking their notes. So rather than writing their notes in a very linear fashion, you are now writing your notes in what's considered a 360 fashion, with the key concept at the center. And then from that key concept, you are branching out and creating interconnections amongst those key concepts. The beauty, though, of mind mapping is that you're not writing sentences, you're writing key phrases. And you're also using colored pencils and markers, and you're drawing. Some people would suggest you're doodling. I like it because it really allows me to come out of that standard note-taking format. And the theory behind it is because you're doing that, you are then imprinting that information in your mind. And so you're better able to retain it. And so I've begun to look at that with a variety of students, and they've built upon my work with that as well. I'm also looking at the different types of essay writing for doctoral students and how different types of essay writing can promote the scholarship of writing in our doctoral students. And finally, my most recent line of inquiry has been on interprofessional education and how to promote interprofessional education so that we can have better interprofessional practice as clinicians. And some would suggest there are many different ways, and there are, to promote interprofessional practice. And so here at Seton Hall, we have a Center for Interprofessional Education. And some of the research that I'm conducting is with my colleagues in that center. And so right now we're looking at the use of avatars as a simulated environment for our students to learn the concepts associated with telehealth practices. And we're doing it in an interprofessional way. So you may say, wow, Dr. Zipp's work is very chaotic. It's all over the place. And I would argue, no, it's not. Each of the works that I've put together really at the foundation is all about critical thinking, about developing students' critical thinking and developing my own critical thinking as a scholar. And that's very important to me. And I believe that critical thinking is the most important thing that we can offer our students, offer the clinicians we're working with. So I like to embrace this notion of chaos in doctoral education because I really believe that it's that chaos that promotes adult learning, promotes active learning. And so I would ask that if you're interested in joining this chaos, if you're interested in becoming what I like to term a reflective skeptic, then reach out to me and see if there's some type of research that we can collaborate on, or if I can help you to find an area that's engaging for you along your doctoral journey. Thank you and have a great day.